Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos. Parshas Bamidbar, Erev Shabbos. Shavuos, Erev Shavuos. Incredible things going on. Want to just say a few words about preparation for Shavuos that we need to begin already this Shabbos. One of the things that we said about Mount Sinai is that it says that Kol Gadol V'lo Yosef, that there was a great sound. V'lo Yosef. And Lo Yosef has two different meanings. Either it means that it was something that will never repeat itself, it was a one-time event, or Lo Yosef, it never ended, and it continues to go. So it's weird that that would be the description of Har Sinai, with a word, choosing a word that could be understood in two very divergent and very different kind of ways. Second question that you have to ask is that why is there no mention of Mountain Torah in the Torah? It doesn't say that this was the day the Torah was given on. It doesn't, not in the Torah. In the Torah, this is called Chag HaKotzer. There's a lot of different names, Chag HaShavuos, but nothing about Zman Matan Torah, saying at the time of the giving of the Torah. And yet it's all about the giving of the Torah. Why wasn't that written explicitly in the Torah? And we mentioned, not necessarily here, but when we talked about it 2 weeks ago in the Parashah, when we talked about reading the Tocha, reading the curses, we said that Shavuos is a Rosh Hashanah of sorts, because we are judged on Peros HaIlon, we are judged on the fruit of the trees. And we asked a lot of questions about that, but really a very fundamental question is that why would being judged on the fruit of the trees on Shavuos, why does it get its own spot? Why is it a separate thing? Why isn't it covered by Rosh Hashanah itself, right, in Tishrei, the big Rosh Hashanah that we keep and that we judge for everything? Why don't we judge for the fruit on the trees also? Why does it have, we say that there are Arba Rosh Hashanah, and there are 4 different Rosh Hashanahs during the year. And why is this one of those 4? Why isn't it just covered with the main Rosh Hashanah? Okay, so when God created man, it says, Vayitzer Hashem Elokim es ha'adam, Ofer mina adama. When God created man, he created him dust from the earth. V'yafich ba'apo, and he blew into his nostrils, nishmas chayim. He blew into his nostrils the spirit of life. Vayhi ha'adam l'nefesh chayim, and the person became a live person. Now it's really somewhat repetitious. Nishmas chayim and l'nefesh chay, that he blew in the breath of life and he became now a live creature. Well, that's what happens when you blow the breath of life into something, it becomes alive. Like what's it saying? Why is it repeating itself? So clearly we understand that nishmas chayim, that the spirit of life, and nefesh chaya, and a being that is alive, are two completely different things. And maybe on Rosh Hashanah, we're being judged for the first of them, for nishmas chayim, that we're being judged on that which God blew the breath of life into our nostrils. That's the reason why we blow shofar, because shofar is like an act of creation. We're blowing into the shofar and emitting a sound. We use the nishmas chayim, we use that breath that God gave us to beg for mercy from the one who gave us that nishmas chayim, from the one who gave us that breath of life. Rosh Hashanah involves judgment regarding a person's physical life, a person's being alive, about the things that a person's accomplishing, the amount of mitzvahs that a person's doing, the kind of person a person is. All of that is about his nishmas chayim. But Shavuos, we're not being judged on being a nishmas chayim. That's done already in Rosh Hashanah. On Shavuos, we're being looked at as a nefesh chaya. It's about our spiritual lives. And it's the degree to which we want to enhance our neshamas. It's not about giving of the Torah, but it's about what do we do with that Torah. Being a nefesh chaya means being somebody who is alive, whose spirit is alive, who's not just breathing, but who's accomplishing and doing something. And that's what being judged on Shavuos. What are you doing with the life that you were given on Rosh Hashanah? What are you doing with that life? The pasuk in Shir Hashirim, we talk about the Melech, we talk about the name Shlomo, and we say that the Melech, we're talking about the Melech Shah Shalom Shalom, the king who peace belongs to him. And we understand that the whole book of the whole section of Shir Hashirim is talking about a wedding, and that really the giving of the Torah and the building of the Beis Hamikdash was like the wedding day of the Jewish people. that was like a fundamental thing. Can you imagine a couple gets married? They plan the wedding, and the wedding goes without a hitch. The wedding's over, and everything that the couple wanted to happen at that wedding happens. It was beautiful, it was stunning, it was fun, it was exciting, it was lebedik, everything, beautiful pictures. It was like a picture perfect event. And can you imagine? Wedding's over. They look at each other and say, Shkayach, it's a pleasure doing business with you. And they both turn around and go home. And they go back to their places separately because they reached their goal. They did what they needed to do. What would we call them? Fools, idiots. The wedding isn't an end in itself. The wedding is merely a means to an end. The wedding is not about the wedding. It's about what happens after the wedding. And that's why the Torah doesn't call this the day that the Torah was given. Because if it called the day the Torah was given, then that would be the end. That would be the event that we were waiting for, that we're commemorating, that we're thinking about. It's all about the end. We finished. We did it. We did it. We got the Torah. It's over. No, it's really about the peiros. What are you going to do with that Torah? It's about the fruit. What are you going to produce? It's not just about the life you were given, but where are you taking that? What are you doing with that? And that idea is reflected in the pasuk, Kol Gadol V'lo Yosef. That it was a great sound that was emitted for Lo Yosef. You can understand it that Lo Yosef, it's never going to repeat itself. It was a one-time event. But be careful with that. Because if it was a one-time event, then you just graduated. You commemorated that graduation. You have relived that graduation, and now it's over. Tomorrow you're back to regular. No, V'lo Yosef. It never stops. Calling out to the Jewish people on top of Mount Sinai, saying, take my Torah. Live with my Torah. This is the gift that I want to give you. That's a sound that emits from Mount Sinai every single day. It's unfortunate when we see Shavuos as a one-time event. And the next day, it's over. It's Motzei Shavuos. It's there at the end. It's not the end. It's just the beginning. It's a day to recommit. It's a day to reconnect. If it's done correctly, this can affect the entire year of our existence. We make a mistake. We think that we're staying up Shavuos night to commemorate something of the past. We are not. We are doing something that is right now. We are preparing for our own Kabbalah HaTorah. We are preparing for that event that never stopped. It's not a one-time event. We are being judged now on Peiros HaElon. What are we doing with the Torah that we've been given? What are we doing with the life that we have been given? And that's the question we have to ask ourselves on Shavuos, and that's what we have to prepare ourselves for. In the 3 days before Shavuos, in the final countdown, we're now in what's called the Shlosh Me'Agbola, the 3 days of preparation. What are we preparing? What are we doing? We look at ourselves and we're saying, what have we done with the life that God has given us? Is this event an event that we're going to commemorate on Monday and Tuesday? Is it just an event? We're commemorating something of the past? Or is it something that is alive with us every single day? It's not just about the life we were given, but it's about the beautiful things that we do with that life. That's what we need to be thinking about. That's what we need to be deciding. When we stand there on Shavuos and we hear about the Torah, giving of the Torah on Shavuos, we need to be deciding, what kind of Jew am I? Am I a Jew that says, Lo Yosef was a one-time event, it's over? Or am I kind of Jew that says, Lo Yosef never ends? It's constantly calling out, constantly compelling me, constantly pushing me to move higher and farther along and to become stronger and better. Onwards and upwards. Have a beautiful, awesome, amazing Shabbos.